Hello from World University and School, like Wikipedia in about 342 languages and building on Creative Commons 4 licensed MIT OpenCourseWare in about 7 languages presently, seeking to develop in all 7,159 known living languages for wiki schools, for people to people, wiki, free universal education, wiki teaching, wiki learning, and also free degrees potentially in all 200 countries and their main languages, maybe more languages, depending on usefulness. So as we wait to see if people will join this open WUAS news and question and answer, on Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. East Coast time. I think it's 10:30 p.m. India time, and it may be 2 in the morning Hong Kong time the next day. Uh, I'd like to share a little news and uh, with an agenda with you. Dear Universitians, friends, Roland Vogel, Executive Director of Stanford Law Codex, Peter Norvig, Google AI Director, and Stanford Distinguished Educator Fellow, all, greetings. Again, regarding unprogrammed NTF Friends, Quakers, and WUAS, best Steam CC licensed OpenCourseWare, Wiki, Grow with Google WUAS, World University and Schools, unprogrammed, Quaker informed weekly business meeting, which this is, continues to be what guides World University and School. And further, could these WUS agenda and news even be loosely coming into conversation with the Pibroch classical Scottish bagpipe music form? Perhaps. Greetings, and great to see you, Roland and Bruce, at Stanford Law Codex online on Thursday, November 20th, 2025, and in the presentations about Tower and the platform for immediate and final self-composition of administrative conflicts, Pacifica, with the federal government of Brazil. So further, more about this in a second. Since WUS Weekly Business Meeting is informed by Unprogrammed Friends Quakers monthly business meeting process and is seeking further to develop a nominating committee, Roland Vogel, could I invite you to become the presiding clerk of the WUAS Weekly Business Meeting Nominating Committee and as director of Stanford Law Codex? And in WUS seeking to nominate a corporate lawyer to develop and grow WUAS further forward. And with possibly Bruce Kahan saying in the last Stanford Law Codex online meeting that he's a corporate lawyer. Could you, Roland, please perhaps bring his name forward to become presiding clerk of the WUS Corporate Law Committee, potentially in collaboration with Stanford Law Codex membership, and for these two committees potentially to develop both WUAS wings, or possibly mainly the WUAS Corporation wing further. Further, recently, for about a day, these two following main email addresses became inaccessible on my laptop computer, while I could access them on my smartphone, president@worlduniversityandschool.org, WUASC at WUAS_CEO at worlduniversityandschool.org. And I wonder whether your potential WUS committees, WUS nominating and WUS corporate law, could potentially also seek out a WUS president, e.g., for USA, World University and School in English, and WUAS CEO, please. Here again are the best Steam Creative Commons licensed OpenCourseWare wiki. Grow with Google, WUS World University and School Weekly Business Meeting, WS News and Question and Answer for both today, 12/15, to season for a week, and that I posted last 12/8 on December 8th, 2025, and also the agenda and news for January 5th, 2026, to season for these 2 weeks. So further, how best could the WUAS Corporate Law Committee and the potentially new second WUS president and second WUS CEO further develop the nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt legal entity wing, World University and School.org, and 2, the for-profit General Stock Company legal entity in California wing, World University and School.org/academicpress.html, both still sharing the same root domain, World University and School.org. And with Peter Norvig's guidance too, how best to code for both wings' AI platforms, build them out in each of all 200 countries and in all 7,159 living languages, and potentially in WUAS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from here. U at World University, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/u@World University. And regarding both WUAS, both of WUS's existing 2 bank accounts, how best to, 1, develop the 501c3 World University and School main wing with its GuideStar profile at 27-310-5368 on the Candid GuideStar platform, and 2, possibly even multi-list the WUAS Corporation on many stock exchanges in many countries, but starting with one stock exchange, possibly the NASDAQ, and then the Silicon Valley Long-Term Stock Exchange, 1 board or 2 boards, and in seeking to use AI in the boardroom. Perhaps WUS Nominating Committee with WUS Corporate Law Committee with Stanford Law Codex could help identify and choose some WUAS board members. Greetings further from Free Best Steam CC OpenCourseWare Wiki, hashtag Grow with Google WUS, World University and School, WUAS. World University and School, like Wikipedia in 342 languages with MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, continues to grow and develop, and regarding previous versions of OpenCourseWare, and see the 6 languages it's been translated in on this one webpage, opencw.apprende.org/courses/translated-courses, and see the 38 departments MIT OpenCourseWare has potentially been categorized into in this other opencw.apprende.org/courses. And potentially World University and School seeks to grow these with weekly business meeting further, which is open. So you can join from Mexico City, or at 9 a.m. Mexico City time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Western Europe, 10:30 p.m. India time, 1 a.m. Tuesday the next day, Hong Kong time. But please check your time converter from any of your 24 time zones to join this WUS weekly business meeting, the conversation is potentially invaluable and very helpful. So I'm continuing to facilitate these open WUS news and question and answers, open WUS weekly business meetings, as well as posting the recording to the main YouTube channel for World University and School, which is youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University /videos presently. So are these WUS weekly business meetings an innovative kind of unprogrammed friends, NTF, non-theist friend, Quaker monthly business meeting? Perhaps. And how might the WUS Corporate Law Committee even communicate with Candid GuideStar affiliated with the IRS? What WUS sees as possible next steps for Candid GuideStar in Candid GuideStar coding the IT platform for 501c3 federal tax exempt World University and Schools profile at guidestar.org/profile/27-3105368, keeping in mind the WUS Corporation Wing as a for-profit general stock company in the state of California at worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html, with its State of California tax ID at bottom. And again, from last week, check this out at the blog post beginning Erissimum Capitatum. So further, Peter Norvig, Google AI Director, and Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO, whom I saw at the Monkey King Opera in the San Francisco Opera House a couple of weeks ago, how best to build out further a realistic virtual Earth for everything and a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs. And out of Google Street View with Time Slider and possibly with NVIDIA chips and semiconductors for gaming. And further, especially for how to build a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies initially. A realistic virtual Earth for everything, a realistic virtual Earth for oceans and ocean history, a realistic virtual Earth for history, a realistic virtual Earth for space and for the universe, and not only at the Street View with Time Slider level with TensorFlow, but also the Google Cell View level, the Google Molecule View level, and smaller Google Atom View level and the Google Qubit View level, for example, a basic unit of quantum physics. All the best abolitionally, a best Steam Creative Commons licensed open courseware, Wiki World University and School WUAS abolition movement is growing to protect people. And read more about this in the blog post from July of 2025 at Lotus, which begins lotus-kamalapadma-html. scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/lotus-kamalapadma.html. And in WUS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet and to end poverty worldwide. Friendly NTF Quaker greetings. Scott. Recording will be posted to youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University /videos. So can we begin to find new presidents for World University and School, not only for USA, World University and School, but for all 200 countries? And can we find a new CEO for the WUS Corporation? Might the WUS new presidents have familiarity with greatest universities and also possibly with Gemini AI and as a possible lawyers, and might the new WS CEO be have a Master's of Business Administration degree, an MBA. So moving on to the World University and School Wing, the first of two WUAS wings. The 501c3 or similar nonprofit, GuideStar.org listing affiliated with the IRS, CC license, best Steam, OpenCourseWare Wiki, World University and School Wing. Its tax ID number is at the bottom of worlduniversityandschool.org, as is the tax exempt state of California ID number for this wing. Two legal entities on this wing. Agenda item 0. So the weekly business meeting recording for 12/1, December 1st, 2025 is posted, beginning in the blog post beginning Sawtooth Wilderness. Check it out. Agenda item 1. So how to begin to grow countries, models for education at WUAS. Sri Lanka, an island nation state southeast of India, has a population of about 22 million people. And I'm in touch with RIFI there regarding this in some ways. How to develop a Sri Lanka WUAS, and hashtag a model for education WUAS for all 22 million people, and with a hashtag PI country focus to hashtag end poverty. How best to grow hashtag physical digital, hashtag WUAS educational services stores there, and in the WUAS Corporation collaborating with Walmart even. And regarding building from MIT OCW in 7 languages, and Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Tulify AI WUAS article, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024. How best to develop WS universities first in key countries? Could Sri Lanka be such a key country? And then could we develop in, for example, India and Nigeria and similar, Vietnam, all of which also may have many people engaging Pi cryptocurrency and interested potentially in such resources. And World University and School has a partnering email from the Pi cryptocurrency network people. So a set of Twitter posts about this, a hashtag Sri Lanka WUAS, hashtag model for education, WUAS for all 22 million people, and with a hashtag Pi country focus to hashtag end poverty, and see the Sri Lanka World University and School, the beginning wiki university for this, not yet in the Sinhala language. And see also the blog post beginning Tigrid Palma Magnifica in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from November of 2025. Further in this Twitter post, how best to grow hashtag physical digital, hashtag WUAS educational services stores there. And in hashtag WUAS Corporation collaborating with hashtag Walmart even. Questions potentially the WUAS CEO might begin to address on the educational services store side, on the Pi cryptocurrency side, and questions which a possible Sri Lanka president of Sri Lanka World University and School, who knows Sinhala might begin to address on the free degrees emerging from MIT OpenCourseWare, possibly emerging from Sri Lanka schools. Let these free WUS degrees be known in Sri Lankan high schools, for example, and possibly which a president of Sri Lanka World University and School would also develop the wiki schools in the Sinhala language based on potentially the existing subjects, wiki subjects on the main wiki subjects page in English, translated into Sinhalese, or and with the opportunity to add new wiki subjects and create new wiki schools in subjects that people love, that individual Sri Lankans would love to teach and learn about. Are there any MIT OpenCourseWare courses? Could we translate them into Sinhalese? And what creative subjects would Sri Lankans like to create in the Sinhalese language on the Sinhalese wiki subject page as we grow? And how to grow communities around these possible wiki subjects in the Sinhalese language. Agenda item 1A, Vietnam, Nigeria, India, and with Stanford Mind Pi cryptocurrency 2. I asked Gemini AI about this, about how to build with possibly Pi cryptocurrency and free education, and in what countries, how best to grow at World University and School with Pi cryptocurrency and free online degrees, and in what countries. And Gemini AI suggested Vietnam, Nigeria, and India. And read more about this in the blog post beginning Chamaebuxus paucifolia, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/12/Chamaebuxus paucifolia.html. So blog post from December of 2025, beginning CHAMAEBUXUS. Agenda item 2. Thursday, December 4th, 2025, beginning coral reef fish. How will best stem CC licensed OpenCourseWare wiki in a Grow with Google WS program, World University and School in 200 countries for free online WS degrees and in 7,159 living languages with iterating AI and ML. Lessen the divide between the rich and the poor. And this is coming into conversation with a news item. The United Nations warns AI could increase the gap between rich and poor. So how will best stem CC? I created a set of, I asked Gemini AI this and got 2 incredible replies, and created a set of Twitter posts about this too. How will best stem CC OCW wiki in a Grow with Google WS program at World, UNIV, and SCH in 200 countries for online #free WUAS degrees and in 7,159 living languages with iterating AI and ML WUAS, lessen divide between rich and poor, and with Pi Crypto. Check out this set of Twitter posts. I also, check out Gemini AI's responses, especially. Agenda item 2A. United Nations warns AI could increase the gap between rich and poor. Gemini AI response and World University and School WUAS AI in 7,159 living languages can help lessen the gap with #digital infrastructure investments, #democratizing access, #implementing effective regulations, #utilizing open source models, These are all things World University and School is remarkably positioned to help with in so many ways. And I'm excited that World University and School may be able to help with lessening the gap between the rich and the poor. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Coral Reef Fish, How Will Best STEM CC in my blog, beginning scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/12/coral reef. Agenda item 2B. More about the United Nations warns AI could increase the gap between rich and poor, and a Google AI response. Agenda item 3, Friends and Quakers. Hashtag Friends Association for Higher Education. Set of Twitter posts. Hashtag Friends Association for Higher Education. Hashtag Waging Peace. And a Quaker, FAHE.com web page for this. Hartford Friends Waging Peace Substack. Hartford, Connecticut Friends Waging Peace Substack. Friends Association for Higher Education, Waging Peace, Quaker FAHE webpage. What writings have you seen regarding U.S. Department of Defense and hashtag war crimes per @Sen Warren? And how might faculty at World Unit and SCH begin to generate an analysis of this to hashtag wage peace? This is something World University and School seeks to further build and grow as a Quaker or friendly informed set of universities. This set of Twitter posts retweets Elizabeth Warren at @eWarren Twitter post from a couple of days ago. The Department of Defense under Pete Hegseth is out of control. We need a strong, rigorous, independent investigation into possible war crimes. Read more about this in the Coral Fish, How Will Best STEM CC blog post in December of 2025 in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. Agenda item 4. Here's the beginning of Arabic language, World University and School, planned in Arabic with time. Arabic language. So wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/Arabic_language. Not yet in the Arabic language, but accessible from the languages wiki subject page. And the Iraq World University and School in Arabic will emerge from nation states, main wiki subject page at World University and School, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/nation_states. In fact, I think I had already begun the Iraq World University and School, but it may have disappeared. I'm not sure who may be editing it. This nation states wiki subject page for nation in the background. How best to add the evidence in these regards, in regards to Iraq World University and School, and as the possible for Iraq as the birthplace for mathematics, and also as the birthplace for writing and bookkeeping, and archaeologically, with archaeological evidence. How best to add the evidence for Iraq as the birthplace for mathematics to a realistic virtual Earth for history, and regarding a realistic virtual Earth in MIT OpenCourseware centric Wiki World University and School, and see Peter Norvig's Toolify AI WUAS article, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University and School, updated 3/2/2024, where he mentions a realistic virtual Earth for the first time, other than WUS talking about this that I know of. How best further, even from a realistic virtual Earth, to build out a realistic virtual Harbin, Hot Springs, in a WUS multimedia room, e.g., even in the shop at 670 Ridgecrest Canyon, California, 94516. I asked this of some people I know in Moraga in an email and would like to explore further. Agenda item 5. So excited at free to students, grow with Google WS, Wiki World University and School in building 5 WUAS universities, hashtag WUAS, UNIVS on Twitter, with hashtag MIT OCW in hashtag traditional Chinese, from the traditional Chinese translation of MIT OpenCourseWare into Mandarin, into traditional Chinese, and especially in the hashtag Chinese official language countries from nation states at worlduniversityandschool.org. So hashtag China, WUAS, hashtag Singapore, WUAS, hashtag Taiwan, WUAS, hashtag Hong Kong, WUAS, and hashtag Macau, WUAS. This is a project that World University and School would seek to develop with potentially Google DeepMind and potentially Yi Tay at Google, where Yi Tay on Twitter posted the following, and I retweeted the above with this. Happy to share that at Google DeepMind, Gemini team is starting a new research team in Singapore. This new team will be focused on advanced reasoning, LLM /RL, and improving bleeding edge SOTA models such as Gemini, Gemini DeepThink, and beyond. This team will be led by yours truly and reports up to Kwok Lee, and whose broader team in Mountain View, which was recently in the center of both IMO gold medal and ICPC gold medal breakthroughs with Gemini DeepThink, amongst many other significant Gemini advancements. We're starting out with a very small but intensely capable force because talent density is key over everything else in the LLM, large language model era. Over the past few months, we have gone around and gathered the best of the best talent in the region around Singapore and beyond. And I'm confident we'll have a super cracked team very soon. If you are interested in joining and have made truly exceptional contributions in any domain or area, engineering and or research, etc., please contact me. This is quite an exciting time with the Gemini Gen AI team at Google DeepMind leading the charge at the frontier. This is also the best opportunity to be on the critical path to AGI from the sunny island of Singapore. Many thanks to leadership support from Kwok Lee, X, Jeff Dean, and a host of others. This team will be focused on advanced reasoning, LLM /RL, and improving bleeding edge SOTA models such as Gemini DeepThink, and beyond. How best to, beyond retweeting this and sharing these potential 5 universities at World University and School, China, WUAS, Singapore, WUAS, Taiwan, WUAS, Hong Kong WUAS and Macau WUAS to further come into conversation with Yi Tei's team and these developments to develop free online degrees emerging from MIT OpenCourseware in traditional Chinese in these 5 languages, as well as a realistic virtual earth for Chinese languages with TensorFlow AI. Think Google Street View with TimeSlider. And for STEM, a realistic virtual earth for STEM and for computer science. Read more about this in the blog post that begins Barley in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/12/barley/HTML. Agenda item 6. These are just some pictures of the very inventive Thomas Jefferson from 20 years ago when I visited Monticello, Virginia, in some Google photos that popped up. They're also in the Barley blog post from December of 2025. Agenda item 7. This is the album from the rock and roll group Traffic, titled John Barleycorn Must Die, from 1970. I was 10 years old. And I created a set of Twitter posts regarding this with the album, with the wiki subject page at World University and School, folk rock music, and another wiki subject page at World University and School, rock and roll, and a third wiki subject at World University and School, counterculture, all accessible from the main subjects wiki subject page. Did Traffic musicians ever get to Harbin Book at Harbin Book, Hot Springs? It was the group Traffic, and was this album an expression of counterculture? Some ways I think maybe, yes. I think I also came into conversation with Gemini AI in some of these regards. And yes, counterculture, I think. The time in the United States and in many other countries and around the world from 1968 to 1972, with the freedom-seeking student movements and so much more, engaged very many aspects counterculturally in interesting ways, also through much of the 60s and the 70s. Agenda item 8. The yoga Twitter post, and with Demis Hassabis, the Nobel laureate in chemistry, who works at Google, and regarding AlphaFold 3 server by Google DeepMind, I think, and Isomorphic Labs. As a kind of yoga, hashtag a kind of yoga, how at Demis Hassabis to add experimentally hashtag IF1 protein, which is a gene that George Church recently Twitter posted about, to a hashtag realistic virtual earth for molecules regarding AlphaFold 3 AI model. Connected to our hashtag avatar agent electronic health records, and even regarding Pegman in Street View at the become avatar electronic health records for you and I, and at the G molecule view level, and in G Street View with G time sliders. So could Demis Hassabis code AlphaFold 3 server, which can apparently predict all of life's molecular compounds, with this IF1 protein, which apparently regulates aging, which Michael Forrest posted about also, and which George Church reposted about, or posted Michael Forrest's Twitter post about this. And interestingly, someone named Jay Jin got back to Quaker Yoga Macflower, my Twitter feed, and Demis Hassabis regarding, oh wow, molecular health visualization in Street View. That's absolutely wild. Imagine zooming from your neighborhood straight into your DNA. This AI and biotech combo is exactly where breakthroughs happen. Hashtag health tech. And I want to go further than this, but including this, to actually make it possible to connect, for example, the IF1 protein through possibly an eRapid sensor out of the Harvard WIS Institute to our electronic health records, avatar agent electronic health records, to our bodies, potentially regulate aging in these regards. Read more about this and extend life possibly regarding extreme longevity, genetic drug therapies emerging. If this IF1 protein could become the basis for gene drug therapy. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Plumeria in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/12/plumeria8.html. So moving to the second wing, the WUAS Corporation, second of two WUAS wings, a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, the academic press at WUAS, planned in 7,159 living languages with machine learning and machine translation. That website is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. Agenda item A. This is a Twitter post from Kent Walker, senior legal counsel at Google, regarding the newest Google store in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. And I created so this is the beginning, the first agenda item A in the WS Corporation side of World University and School. Created a set of Twitter posts about this. Excited at World Univ and SCH in hashtag Grow with Google WUAS program to potentially grow our hashtag physical digital, hashtag WUAS educational services stores for hashtag books, computers, robotics, plus in hashtag realistic virtual earth for retail, for hashtag WUAS outreach as universities, for hashtag free to students, hashtag free WUAS degrees, first in hashtag 200 countries capitals. Could World University and School in a Grow with Google WUAS program, working with Google software and knowledge that they've gained in starting this newest Google store in Georgetown, DC, begin our stores in all 200 countries' capitals, in the Washington, D.C. area first, possibly, but then also possibly in Vietnam's capital. Is that Hanoi or Saigon? India's capital, Delhi, Nigeria's capital, and possibly Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo. Exciting possibilities. Posted this both to Twitter X and LinkedIn, and retweeted Kent Walker's Twitter X posting from Google Public Policy. Say hello to our newest Google store in Georgetown, DC. We're proud to call DC home, with 2 offices and more than $7.7 billion in economic activity generated here. This latest retail location deepens our commitment to the district. World University and School is also interested in this language of how Google is contributing to economic activity, for example, in Washington, D.C., on the order of $7.7 billion, with also its two offices. In what ways could World University and School chart the contributions that WUS makes in all 200 countries' capitals first, as we grow our WUAS educational services stores in conjunction with our academic press at WUS too? Agenda item B on the WS Corporation wing. In the blog post beginning Ashisipa Wilderness in New Mexico, Chase Bank Branch, Shadyside Community in Pittsburgh, PA, beginning 12/1/2023, quite a while ago, about 2 years ago. Continuing email thread. My smartphone just received a call from Chase Bank at 7:54 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. So I emailed JP Morgan Chase Bank CEO Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan Chase Bank's internal security internationally, and Chase Bank Shadyside Pittsburgh VP Shauna McNally and Peter Norvig Google AI, and U.S. Senator and former Harvard Law professor Elizabeth Warren and Lieutenant John Tadler, having attended a FBI workshop in 2013 from Pittsburgh, and attorney Sean Flaherty in Pittsburgh, PA. In these regards, further in a lengthy email thread now, with regard to World University and School seeking to develop further, possibly with Chase Bank financing even. Greetings from Frida Students Best STEM, CC licensed open courseware, Grow with Google WUS Wiki, World University and School, planned in all 200 countries and for speakers of all 7,159 known living languages. And from there, for potentially all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from you at World University. My smartphone just received a call from Chase Bank at 7:54 a.m., which left no message. Could this be regarding Chase Bank seeking to invest in the WUAS Corporation to buy shares when they become available? And per yesterday's Monday, December 1st, 2025, WUAS Weekly Business Meeting, WUAS News and Question and Answer, and see Agenda Item A, which WUS will get to in the Monday, 12/8/2025, WS Monthly Business Meeting, Weekly Business Meeting. Or could it be Chase Bank's way of coming into conversation with WUS Weekly Business Meeting, the Monday, 11/24/25 agenda, beginning Erissimum Capitatum, and regarding another bank, Meridian Bank's expression of interest in, I think, purchasing shares in the WUAS Corporation. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Ashisipa Wilderness, New Mexico, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from December of 2025. Agenda item C, investment into World University and School. An inquiry from a Sarah Alvarado. She wrote, "Hello, Scott. We have a strategic who has a strong interest in making an investment into World University and School space. We are a capital advisory firm that works directly with a select group of sponsors, and this particular group has significant interest in World University and Schools industry. So we wanted to reach out and see if you might be interested, if you might be exploring new capital partners. Are you available to discuss this opportunity? Cheers, Sarah Alvarado." And I wrote back, "Hi, Sarah. Sarah at startupdebtstrategywealth.shop. And is this you in a LinkedIn profile where she appears to have some ties with Amazon.com? We'll add you to the WUS Weekly Business emails, which meet on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. She may be in Seattle. And invited her to a number of these, and she hasn't yet joined, but it would be interesting to explore what she has in mind further with investments. And regarding World University and School's unique and amazing synergies between both WUAS wings, the 501c3 nonprofit MIT OCW centric in 7 languages, Wiki World University and School wing, and the secondly, for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, the WS Corporation wing, with both of their tax IDs at the bottom of worlduniversityandschool.org, worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. She sent back an email to schedule an appointment with her and said first one is free, but after that it was $25,000. And so I've invited her. I decided not to fill out that form and invited her to join WS Weekly Business Meeting. And perhaps she will one of these weeks. And perhaps our CEO, when we develop a new CEO, will be able to navigate some of these waters with investments and companies that are seeking to potentially help fund World University and School in new ways. So that's the WS News and Question and Answer, WS Weekly Business Meeting on Monday, December 15th, 2023, beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'll post the recording of this to the main WUS YouTube channel at this time, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University, and also to the 2 main Twitter feeds, twitter.com/WorldUniv and SCH, and twitter.com/WUAS Press. And until January 5th, 2026, merry, happy. Looking forward to learning what you think, to your coming into conversation with World University and School. I continue to get interesting responses in a whole variety of ways to Weekly Business Meeting, which I will include 2 new ones recently, 2 new responses in the upcoming January 5th, 2026 WS News and Question and Answer WS Weekly Business Meeting, which begins Brooks Range in Alaska, Mountain Range in Alaska. Until then, merry, happy, and see you online. Bye for now.